Welcome everyone. Let me just check that all the channels are working. Welcome to everyone. Welcome to day one of Money Set Live. Hopefully you should be watching me either on Jope Coaching, 20,000 of you guys there. Hello. Or on YouTube, Jope live events. Hello and welcome, or just on Jope. I should be able to see all your comments coming in. So if you can let me know if you can hear me and you can see me live. There's an audience of 50,000 people in total. Over a couple of hundred of you have showed interest, and the exciting thing is over 100 of you registered for this event. So please let me know if you can hear me and see me. I believe you can. Awesome. Welcome. Awesome. So just a quick reminder, I am in Uganda at the moment. If the internet cuts out, it will only be for a brief moment. We have a backup electricity and generator and internet. So just hold tight and I will be right back. So welcome everyone. So good that you're here. It's going to give a couple of minutes for people to hop on. And then we will jump straight into the event itself. Whilst we're waiting, since we're streaming across multiple platforms today, there are many of you in this room who are meeting me for the very first time. And before I ask you to open up and look into your deepest financial programming, it's only fair that I let you know who I am and exactly what qualifies me to share this information with you today, especially about the game of money. So if you were to look at my CV, you would assume I have always had money completely figured out. For many years, I mastered what we would call the outer game of money. I trained as a barrister. I studied the deep mechanics of finance, company law, commercial law. And from there, I stepped into the corporate world and became vice president of a global pharmaceutical company where the average sale was $1 million. Yes, average. I also sat as a director on a real estate firm that managed hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in investments globally all around the world. Very, very cool stuff. And in that world, money makes logical sense. So what do I mean by that? Your salary grows in a safe, very predictable steps. You manage the spreadsheets, you look at the P&Ls, and the maths always works. And I thought I knew everything there was to know about the game of wealth. And then in 2018, I left that safe, predictable world to become a full-time entrepreneur and coach and consultant. That is when I experienced a very brutal wake-up call. Making money in a career and making money as an entrepreneur, in my opinion, are two very different universes. Suddenly, the corporate safety net was gone. Suddenly, it was actually really my responsibility, my money. And my income started to do something terrifying. I would have an incredible month where I'd make 100,000 US dollars in a single month. And I think, wow, I've cracked the code. This is it. But then the very next month, I would make 0, 0, 0. So I was completely out of control. And I was riding a massive, exhausting financial roller coaster. It's incredibly painful because I knew I had the qualifications that the world would expect me to have. I had consulted all the way from startups to massive companies alike. I knew the business strategies. So why was my income suddenly not working? So I had to take a brutal, honest look at my own behavior. I started tracking what I was doing to generate those 0 months. And I discovered something that made me sick to my stomach. I wasn't failing because I didn't know how to make money. I was failing because I was actively avoiding the things that were so important that will make you win at this game of entrepreneurship. And we're going to talk about those things today. Maybe some of you will relate to it. But I was avoiding the exact activities that produced revenue. And for me, it was sales. And I was finding every excuse in the book to avoid sales, which is so crazy because I was the VP for sales and marketing, and I was very, very good at, I am great at sales as well. So, but why would this happen? Why would someone who's highly educated, highly experienced, capable, former VP, barrister trained, actively sabotage his own income? And that question led me to a breakthrough that changed my entire life, and also the hundreds of business owners, entrepreneurs I have coached since. I realized that all my legal training, corporate experience, and all my business strategies was just this thing called the outer game, but my inner game, my subconscious financial programming was broken. My external world was not the same because my internal financial thermostat was set to a very exact comfort zone. So every time I hit a huge month and expanded beyond this comfort zone, my subconscious mind panicked and it forced me to stop selling. It forced me to self-sabotage so my income would drop back to the level that was safe. I didn't have a business problem in the form of a strategy or a tactic or a funnel. I had a subconscious programming problem. Once I figured out how to go into my own mind, uproot that old programming and permanently reset my financial thermostat, everything changed, the roller coaster stopped, the revenue stabilized, and I was able to scale from there. And that's exactly why we're here today and why I am here today. We're not just going to talk about the outer game today. No, we're going to talk about the more important stuff. We're going to talk about the invisible programming that is forcing you to avoid those revenue generating activities. And we're going to talk about how to rewrite those permanently. If you can hear me fine in YouTube, please, on YouTube, please drop something in the chat. Folks in the Zoom room, if you can just put in the chat, I can hear you fine. That would help me massively. That would help me massively. Let me have a look. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's look on this channel here. Yep, people can hear me, which is great. Welcome for wherever you are. Guys in the YouTube, in the Zoom room, sorry, in the Zoom room, if you can let me know if you can hear me as well, that would be a massive help. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so welcome to day one. Welcome. Welcome to the room where hopefully everything is going to change for you. A couple of things. In order for this to really work, please pay attention is the first thing. The second thing is expect a transformation to take place over the next 3 days. Really expect that to happen. One piece of information which you implement can really change everything. Absolutely everything. And realize what's at stake. This is not something that's not important. This can be life and death for most folks. Okay, so hopefully everyone has a chance to get hold of the notebook. If you're watching the replay, what I will do under the videos on the channels, I will drop a landing page link where you can just opt in and you will get the materials. If you are watching it live, you will see in the comments I've dropped a link there. Hopefully everyone who's on Zoom checked, and I believe everyone has the right stuff. I'm just going to drop the document in the rooms now, in the other rooms. Perfect. So welcome. So to start off with, I would love for you to just take a deep breath in right now. Not a shallow breath, a real breath. In through the nose, deep into your belly, and hold it. And then just breathe out slowly through your mouth. And I really want you to do something for me today on this call. I would love for you to close every other tab on your computer. I would love for you to put your phone on airplane mode. If you're watching this on your phone, please silence every notification, because what you're about to experience over the next couple of hours, the next few days, this is not some kind of webinar. This is not like a motivational speech. this is something that can really help. So please don't half listen. What we're going to do, and it's quite a violent word to use, but we're going to actually conduct surgery. We're really going to open up. We're going to reach into the deepest, most hidden parts of your mind. That part that's been secretly running your financial life since you were 7 years old, believe it or not, sometimes even younger. And we're going to pull it out into the light where you can finally see it, name it, and release it. I need to be completely honest with you before we begin. Some of the stuff which I'm going to share with you today over the next couple of days is going to make you feel uncomfortable. Some of it is going to make you even emotional. It may do typical things. When we talk about money, you may feel slight tightness in the chest. You may even feel some tears in the eyes. It's not unusual. It's happened many times before with the people I've worked with. You may even feel a rush of anger towards yourself, towards a parent, teacher, ex-partner, all that good stuff, even yourself, like I said. The good news is all of that is supposed to happen. It's all supposed to happen. That discomfort is not a sign that there's something wrong. It is a signal. It's the greatest sign that something is going right. It means something in the armor is cracking. It means the truth is getting in. And on the other side of that discomfort is a version of you that makes money easily, charges what they're worth without worrying, without ever shrinking again when you have a discussion to make a high ticket offer, whether you're a coach, consultant, entrepreneur, business owner. That is who you will become over the next 3 days if you pay attention and do the work. So some context why you're probably here. Most folks who I work with, entrepreneurs, coaches, we don't work together because they lack strategy. Most folks who I work with are the smartest, most capable entrepreneurs going. They know how to do things like funnel building. They know how to write copy, create content. But they know intellectually that they should be charging more, posting more, and selling more. They've generally always invested thousands in coaching, consulting, certificates, and courses. And yet, there's something that keeps holding them back, possibly you back. Something keeps them playing small. You will have a great month, then a terrible month, or you just can't seem to get started. Maybe you raise your prices and then next month give a massive discount on a sales call because your stomach tightens up and you feel guilty, shame for some reason. Maybe one day you write an incredible piece of truth in a form of content and you do a video, you hover over the post button and then you delete it because there's a voice in your head that whispers, who do you think you are to post that? That something has a name. And today we're going to name it. But before we do, I want you to grab your worksheets. Again, if you haven't already downloaded, please check your email. If you're watching the replay, check the emails, also the link below this video. And just have them ready, okay? So there's a number of worksheets. You should have day one. There will be one every single day. Every exercise, reflection, breakthrough moment goes in this workbook each day. So please don't just listen to this event. Do the work inside of this event, because the distance between where you are financially and where you want to be is the distance between knowing and doing. And today we're going to close that gap. Generally, the difference between knowing something and doing something, there needs to be some kind of behavior change. It's normally a behavior change that does it. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I would love to share with you something that's going to reframe everything. Before we go into that, are you with me so far? Is this making sense? Any questions before we go any further, guys? Let me just check. Nothing on Facebook. Nothing on YouTube. If there's anything you want, guys, on YouTube, I will be checking. Likewise, in the Zoom room, if you need anything, I will be checking that as well. Amazing. Okay. Bear with me. I don't have any team with me today, so I'm having to watch a million places at once, which is always good fun. Okay. Just make sure they're all there. Okay, awesome. Thank you for bearing with me. It's always hard when you're streaming many places. I just want to make sure before we get into it. Okay, so the first thing, which is so important to understand, the first breakthrough I had in my own life was one consistent theme I noticed reading lots of books on wealth, that understanding the inner game of success and then applying it in my own life is this. It's really pretty simple, is your income is not determined by your strategy, which I know sounds completely crazy, but it's not. Your income is determined by your thermostat. Okay, so your income is not determined by your strategy, it's determined by your thermostat. And I really need you to write that down. Okay, put it on a sticky note, put it on the wall. I don't care whereabouts, but write it down, because this single idea is key to unlocking everything else we're going to do over the next 3 days. So your income is not determined by your strategy, it's determined by your thermostat. Let me explain. So you have a thermostat in your house, you set it to say 72 degrees. If a window opens and the temperature drops between 60, what happens? Okay, set 72, temperature drops to 60, what happens? Well, the heater kicks in, and it works the temperature in the room back up to 72. Now, if it's a super hot day like it is in Uganda at the moment, and the temperature climbs to 85, the air conditioning kicks on and it cools the room until it gets back down to 72. The thermostat doesn't care whether the room is too hot or too cold, just has one job. And that job is to bring the temperature back to the number it has been set to. That's the only job it has, nothing else. So here's the paradigm shift. You have this thermostat inside of your mind, but it does not regulate temperature, it regulates money. And your financial thermostat is set when you are a child. It was set by the conversations you overheard. It was set by the emotions you felt. It was set by very exact painful instances and events that you may not even subconsciously or consciously really remember clearly, but they are there subconsciously. And right now, that thermostat is dictating to the dollar, to the pound, how much money you allow yourself to make, keep, and enjoy. 3 things: make, keep, and enjoy. So let me show you how this works in the real world of an online business. So imagine you're a coach, and say you've been averaging $5,000 a month, and 1 month you have this breakthrough, you have this aha, you launch this new offer, you really nail your content this month, and you close 3 high-ticket clients. And suddenly you look at a $15,000 month, 3 times normal. So what happens next? For most people, I've seen this so many times, I'll share a story with you in a minute, but something will go haywire. Okay, when they hit the 15,000, they will pick a fight with wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, their spouse. They get a migraine, takes them out for a week, some weird illness. They suddenly decide the offer needs more work. They pull the very thing out of the market that was working, or they suddenly book a holiday they cannot afford, or they simply stop doing the exact activities that was working: the outreach, the sales calls, the visible content, that created that very breakthrough in the first place. And within 60, 90 days, they're right back to $5,000. That is not bad luck. It's not a politician giving you a nightmare. That is the thermostat kicking on the air conditioning and calling the income back down to the number the subconscious mind believes is safe, So in the book, The Millionaire Mind, also what I should say as well, at the end of the event, I will put together all of the resources that I refer to. So I'll give you like a reading list afterwards as well. So don't worry. So in the book, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, okay, in this book, it's referred to as your financial blueprint. But to be honest with you, any book on wealth creation, financial success, especially for entrepreneurs, coaches, there are many names for it. There are many names. There's the upper limit problem. There's the subconscious operating system. There's the inner barrier to learning. They're all saying the same thing. They're all pointing to the same mechanism. There's many great books. The Big Leap is another one. Napoleon Hill, they all refer to the same thing. The same mechanism. So I hope this is going to be something that if you heard of this before, which I'm sure many of you have, we're going to put it under a light and we're going to work with it. But please write this down. Your net worth will never permanently exceed your self-worth. Your net worth will never permanently exceed your self-worth. Your external bank account is a mirror. It is reflecting with amazing accuracy the number that has been programmed into your internal thermostat. So if you feel deep down that you are a $5,000 a year coach, believe me, there's people that don't even make that, or a $50,000 a year coach, or person in a job, say you have a job and you do coaching part-time or whatever it may be. So say our belief is a $50,000 a year type of person, then believe me, as soon as you try and do some more, the universe, the market, your own behavior will conspire against you to keep you at 50,000. So even if you accidentally made, say, 100,000, you would sabotage it back to 50. And I can really prove this. This is exactly what happens to lottery winners. So studies constantly show that the majority of people who win massive lottery jackpots return to their original financial level within a few years. So they didn't lose this money because they're stupid, crazy people, not at all. They lost the money because their thermostat had never been reset. So this massive amount of cash that came in pulled them way past their set point, and their subconscious mind could not tolerate it. So it destroyed the money to get back to normal. So here's $1 million question for you, and I mean that literally, $1 million question. Where was your thermostat set, and who set it? And we're going to go into this a lot. Where was your thermostat set, and who set it? We're going to find out. So now we'd love for you to turn to the section of the worksheets titled My Money Archaeology. Hopefully you can all find that, guys. Let me know. It's going to check on the chats again, make sure everything's okay. Let me just check. Awesome. Yeah, we're streaming fine. Awesome. Cool. Cool. Yeah, so if you could turn to that section of the worksheet titled My Money Archaeology, and we're about to do one of the most important exercises for the whole 3 days. This is going to kind of unlock all the other days. There are three ways your money thermostat was programmed. Okay, and this is a framework that's shared in multiple books. And studying, like I said, every major wealth psychologist, I can tell you that every single one of them confirms this framework we're about to go through. And there are three sources of your programming. So source number one is verbal programming. This is, what did you hear about money when you were growing up? So the first thing I would love for you to do is to pause for a moment, and I would love for you to close your eyes. Just close your eyes, just take a deep breath. And go back to the kitchen table, go back to the living room, go back to the car rides, the shopping when you were younger. What did the adults around you say about money? So just take a deep breath, close your eyes. Just think, did you hear money does not grow on trees? Did you hear we can't afford that? Did you hear rich people are greedy? Did you hear money is the root of all evil? Very common one. Did you hear, who do you think you are? Do you think you're better than us? Did you hear, people like us do not do things like that? And have a think. There could be so many things that you heard. Just take a think. Just checking on Facebook. Hey, James. See you there, James. Sarah, welcome, guys. We're streaming on 3 YouTube accounts, so please bear with me. Appreciate you for joining. Drop your questions in the chat. I will hopefully get some on the live. If not, I will get some afterwards. Okay, so really think, what did you hear? Or did you even hear nothing at all? Did you have a silence that's so thick around the topic of money that you learned that it was something shameful, something you were never supposed to talk about? So just have a think for a moment. So important. What did you hear from the adults around you when you were growing up? Every single one of those phrases was a line of code being written in your operating system. You see, you were a child, you didn't have the ability to filter it out. You didn't have the ability to question it or reject it. You simply absorbed it as truth. And that truth has silently been running in the background for every financial decision you have ever made since. So just take a moment, just open your eyes, and on the worksheet, write down every phrase you remember hearing about money as a child. And try and write down at least 5. Just take a couple of minutes. Please do that now. Just write down everything you know. Money is hard to get. We can't afford that. That's too expensive. Rich people are bad. Money doesn't grow on trees. We're not that type of people. Take a moment now and please write down. I'm going to have a sip of my tea for my sore voice. Equally, did you hear nothing at all? Money was something we just didn't discuss in our household. Okay, let's write it down. And in Zoom, guys, if you can let me know when you've done that. So I'd love to hear from everyone who's in the Zoom room. For those just joining live now, there's some guys who I'm on a call with in Zoom. Just put yes in the chat when you're done. Love to hear from everyone there, just so I know that you can hear me. It's making sense. And we're doing the stuff. Awesome. While I'm waiting for those guys, just take a moment. Okay. Give everyone a couple more minutes to do that. How are we getting on, guys? Hopefully we're doing well. Almost done. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, well done. You're doing great. Doing amazing. For everyone watching the replay as well, if you're in VIP, you get this in your members area with the workbooks and all the recordings as well. If you should be in the VIP room, check your emails and the login details will be there for you. Cool. Okay, I'm going to press on, guys. Don't worry, we have 3 days. You can keep adding to this as we go. Oh, couple of done. Thank you. Awesome. Brilliant. Right. Now what I would love for you to do is look at what you wrote. Really look about what you wrote. I want you to see something so important. So however far you got, to stop for now, look what you've written. Hopefully you've all written something. And I want you to see something, okay? Those phrases, what you've written down, are not facts. They are not facts. They are opinions. Opinions that were never given to you, really, for you to assess, okay? And those opinions are often given to you by people who themselves were struggling with money mindset, money beliefs. So you have inherited their beliefs, okay? The same way you inherited the color of your eyes. But here's the difference. You can change your beliefs, but you can't change the color of your eye. So this is the first one, okay? We can come back to this. Source number 2 of where we got our files, our wealth files in our brain, it's called modeling. So now this is, what did you see, not what you heard, okay? So what you saw. So for example, was the topic, the subject of money, handled calmly in your household, or was it a source of constant anxiety and conflict? Did your parents save, or did they spend recklessly? Did one parent control the money while the other one was kept in the dark? Did you watch someone work themselves to the bone and still not have enough? So here's the insight that will help to really change things. Believe it or not, you, me, everyone tends to become exactly like how one of our parents were in the arena of money. One of our parents. We tend to be exactly like one. Or if you were very angry or rebellious, you might have swung the complete opposite extreme. Okay? So you may want to do the complete opposite to what their behavior was. And just know, neither is really freedom. Being the opposite of something still means that that thing is actually controlling you. So, for example, if your mother was a saver who hoarded every penny out of fear, you may have become a spender, someone who blows money the moment it arrives, just to prove you are not like her, but you're still reacting like her. She is still running your financial life. So you just flipped. So on your worksheet, answer this question. Which parent am I most like when it comes to money? So which parent am I most like when it comes to money? And then in what exact ways? So just take a moment and answer that stuff. Just checking YouTube. Cool. Perfect. Thank you, guys. So the question again, which parent am I most like when it comes to money, and in which specific ways? I am the opposite to how my mum is, just so you know. My mum was a hoarder. Or is still. Okay. Hopefully you're done there. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Let me know again, guys, in the chat if you're done. I'd love to hear from everyone in the room, so I know. Awesome. Okay, source number 3 of our files are incidents that happen in our life. This is the one that most people don't see, but it's often the most powerful one of all. There is usually some very precise, exact event. There's like a moment, an instant, an experience from our childhoods that forged the link between money and pain. So we have this link with money and pain. Okay. And it's in deep in our subconscious minds. And that link has been silently repelling wealth ever since. Okay. So somewhere deep, there's this moment, an experience, an instant, an event from our childhoods that really forged, made this link, this connection with money and pain. And this has been holding us back, you back, me back, everyone back. So, an example, maybe you were in a toy store, Toys R Us, if you're in England, or going around a supermarket, whatever it may be, and you asked for a toy from your parents, and one parent exploded at you and said, "Do you think I'm made of money? Do you think I'm made of money?" In that very moment, your child's brain did not think, "My parent is stressed about finances." Your child's brain concluded wanting things is dangerous. Asking for things make people angry. I should not want more. Let me explain again. So we're in a toy store as a kid. We ask for a toy. My case, it's probably a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or something. And mom and dad explodes at me. "Do you think we're made of money?" So in that precise moment, as a child, we don't think, "Oh, my parents, they must be stressed about money, must be stressed about finances." Our child's brain would conclude, well, wanting things is dangerous. Asking for things makes people angry. I should not want more. Another very common thing is maybe your family inherited money. So in other words, we came into money. Maybe they even had a business success and then everything collapsed. Maybe parents got divorced. Maybe someone got sick. Maybe someone passed away. Maybe money disappeared. In that moment, your brain concluded money causes destruction. It's safer not to have it. Safer not to have it. Maybe, which I can remember this happening, so I share the story because it's a real thing that happened. Maybe You watched a wealthy neighbor being talked about with spite and venom and contempt by your family. Ours was the one who always had a posh car every 2 minutes. And in that very moment, your brain concluded, if I became wealthy, people would hate me as well. They will talk about me, and I will lose my tribe. Tribe is a key thing we'll talk about probably on day 2. So there's a great book called Your Money or Your Life. Your Money or Your Life. Again, I put all the books at the end of the event for you. But it talks about how there's this pattern that shows up, especially in powerful women. And it says nice girls don't care about money, or wanting financial power is not what women do. It's unfeminine. But many men carry this too, because boys are often told, stop dreaming, be realistic. You're getting ideas above your station. That carries a wound with you all the time. And that wound comes with you every sales call, every time you're prospecting, everything you do when money comes into play as an adult. So on your worksheet, there is a space labeled the incident. I couldn't think of a better word. And I want you to write down the single most emotionally charged memory you have involving money from your childhood. Not the first one that comes to mind, the one that really stinks, it's painful. The one, I'll tell you when you know what it is, it's the one you don't want to write down. The one you don't want to write down is the one. Take a couple of minutes and be bold and brave and write it down. So just to repeat what it is, in your workbook, there's a space labeled the incident. I'd love for you to write down the single most emotionally charged memory you have involving money from your childhood. Not the first one, the most painful, emotional one, which you don't want to write down. And again, I'm going to take some tea for my sore throat. And yeah, write that down. Well done. For those that are just joining now, welcome to the call. We're streaming in 3 places today. You're either on YouTube channel Matt Jope Coaching, or Matt Jope Live Events, or Matthew Jope. That's 3 YouTube channels we're streaming to. Let me just see. Awesome. Guys watching on YouTube, if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat. I will read all the comments after the event on all channels, and I promise to reply to them all. If you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. Let me know that you're getting some value. Let me know where you are watching from in the world as well. We'd love to know, are you in the US, UK, Australia, New Zealand? Are you in Africa like myself? I would love to know what part of the world you are in. Drop it on the YouTube channel. Okay, hopefully you've got there. Okay, so I know that's a very hard exercise to do, but I really want you to understand what you just did. It's one of the most bravest things that you can actually do. You've brought this wound into the light. And wounds that can be seen can be healed. Wounds that are hidden continue to bleed and cause pain. Okay? So what I want you to understand is the next bit. We're going to move into disassociation. You need to understand that was not you. And I would love for you to write this down. That is your past conditioning. That is just not you. It was just past conditioning. And this is a moment of disassociation. It's the most powerful psychological move in a wealth transformation process. It's very, very powerful. So what you can do is read out that statement over the next couple of days, the thing that you've written down, read it out, and then say out loud, that is my past conditioning, that is not me. Read it out. That's my past conditioning, that's not me. We are trying to disassociate. There's a 4-step process for changing your financial blueprint. It starts with awareness, understanding, disassociation, and reconditioning. And what we've just completed there is awareness. You've seen your programming. We've also understood, we've traced it to its origin. And now we need to disassociate from it. Now, disassociating from something means understanding at the very deepest level of your being that the beliefs you've uncovered are not yours. They are not yours. They never were. They were given to you before you had the real ability to accept or reject them. And a 7-year-old does not have a choice about what beliefs they instill within. They don't. An adult does. And right now you're an adult, therefore meaning you have a choice. You didn't when you were a child. So every time on a sales call or in a sales conversation and you feel your throat tighten when it's time to say your price, that is not you. That is the 7-year-old who was told, we can't afford that in the store. Every time you try and write a post or go live, do a bold piece of content on Instagram, and you feel the urge to water it down to make it safer to shrink, that is not you. That is the child who learned that visibility was dangerous. Every time you try and offer a high ticket program, okay, and say someone buys it, and then immediately you start worrying that you are a fraud, that they will want a refund, that you're not good enough. That is not you. That is the little kid who was told, who do you think you are? So again, there's another thing I'd love for you to write down here. And I would go as far as stick this on your wall, highlight it, stick it up so you can keep seeing it. And it's this: you are not your programming. You are not your programming. You are the one who can choose to change your programming. Okay, so you give them right to, I am not my programming. I am the one who can choose to change my programming. It's very, very true. We all have the power to decide to change. In the book, The Big Leap, the author calls the beliefs that you hold are basically the things. So the beliefs are the thing that set your thermostat. And he believes in this book that there are 4 hidden barriers. It's really important that we understand the 4 hidden barriers that hold this thermostat. And it's really important we understand these 4 because it's very likely that at least one of them is operating right now in your subconscious mind, probably even 2. You may even get a hat trick with 3. If you get 4, give yourself a round of applause. You've excelled. Okay? These are the invisible chains to your income, the thing that's secretly controlling everything. So, hidden barrier number 1 is something called the feeling of fundamentally being flawed. Fundamentally being flawed. So deep down, you believe there is something wrong with you. Something where it's saying that you're not enough. There's something wrong with you. You're like a broken person. So when you start making great money, good money, better money, you've improved, your brain produces this pain. Because what happens is it's trying to hold two opposite beliefs at the same time. And that is, I'm a flawed person. I'm flawed. I'm broken. And on the other side, it's holding I'm successful. And since your brain cannot hold both, it will destroy the success to resolve the conflict. In other words, you'll sabotage the money so your outer reality matches your inner belief. So, for example, in your online business, it shows up when you chronically undercharge for your services. So your offer, say, is a $10,000 offer, but instead you undercharge 1,000, 5,000, 2,000, 500, because deep down you don't believe you deserve that amount of money. Also shows up in over delivering to the point of burnout. So being on calls with clients, the same clients, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year, giving so much extra that you actually lose money on your clients. Very, very common. Because you're trying to overcompensate for the flaw you believe you have. Does it make sense so far, guys? Please put in the chat if it makes sense. We'd love to hear from everyone in Zoom. Please put makes sense if it makes sense. Same on YouTube. Just write makes sense if you're with me. Okay, hidden barrier number 2 is disloyalty and abandonment. Thank you, my friend. Good, good. Thank you, everyone. Makes sense. Thank you. So, disloyalty and abandonment. So, you believe that if you make a lot of money, you will leave people behind, the people you love. And you will outgrow your family, your old friends, your tribe, basically your community. And you unconsciously believe that financial success is actually an act of betrayal. So in your online business, this shows up as staying stuck at the same income level as your peer group. So if everyone in your world makes $1,000 a month online, or $500 or 4,000, whatever it may be, you will unconsciously keep yourself at that same level as your peers. Because to go beyond that feels like a declaration of war on the tribe. So you might even sabotage a launch or forget to follow up with a hot lead. At that moment, why? Because you're about to break through to a new level. So you will sabotage to bring yourself back to the temperature of the room. Hidden barrier number 3 is believing you are a burden. Believing you are a burden. What does that mean? It means you believe that you believe that if you become more successful, you will be more of a burden on others. Meaning you will need more attention, more space, more support. This is rooted, again, in childhood experiences where you felt like your needs were too much for the adults around you. So in your online business, this shows up as a refusal to ask for help, a refusal to, or reluctance to delegate, and a refusal to take up space in other people's lives. So you keep your business small because small feels manageable. It does not burden anyone. It does not burden anyone. So you won't hire a VA. You won't invest in paid ads. You won't ask for referrals. Because asking feels like imposing yourself on other people, being too much. Okay, hidden barrier number 4, the crime of outshining. The crime of outshining. You believe that if you succeed at the highest level, you will make someone else feel bad. So, for example, a parent, a sibling, a friend, a colleague. You learned in early life that your brilliance made someone uncomfortable. And that feeling, to manage that as a child, you learn to dim your light, to be small. So in your online business, this is almost one of the most common barriers I see time and time again. And this is the entrepreneur who writes, the most amazing sales copy, sales page, and then adds something at the bottom that will undermine the whole thing. For example, coach has maybe a stunning testimonial and they never talk about it. I don't want to seem like I'm bragging. This is the consultant who knows they are the best in their field, the best in the world, but whispers about it. So right at the top of the worksheet, every single one of these barriers is based on a crime that you never actually committed. So, for example, what do I mean? You did not burden anyone, you didn't betray anyone, you didn't outshine anyone unfairly. These are stories told to you by people who were managing their own pain, their own suffering, their own beliefs, and you just absorb these stories as truth. So today, what we need to do is to do the work to separate from those stories. So in the worksheet where it says my hidden barriers, circle the 1 or 2 that speak to you the most as I describe them. And then underneath each one, write this sentence and fill in the blank. I release the belief that making more money means I am. So read through them and have a look in the workbook. So just bear with me, guys. Okay, so we've got the feeling of being fundamentally flawed, disloyalty and abandonment, believing you are a burden, the crime of outshining. So have a look at those and circle the number of the ones that resonate with you most strongly. Again, if you're watching the replay, guys, you'll find a link below the video where you can download the workbook that I keep referring to. There's people live on the call here that are doing the work. If you're watching the replay, I would love for you to have the workbook. I'll drop a link so you can get access to it. So you'll see my primary barrier is, and then you can put in there number 1, 2, you could put all 4, but just try and pick the big 1 and 2, and then just complete the sentence in the workbook. I release the belief that making money means I am, and fill those out. Hope that makes sense. Amazing. I'll give you a couple of minutes. And again, if you can let me know when you have done that, that would be amazing. Now I'll have to speed up a bit because we have so much to go through. We'll take a break in 5 minutes so we can grab a drink, nip to the bathroom, whatever you need to do, and then we'll come back. We'll just do the next section, and then we'll take a quick 5 minutes if that suits everyone. Brilliant. So the next section we are moving to now is the resistance. And this is where we're going to really learn that the enemy has a name. Thank you, guys. In the chat, let me know where you are. Is everyone happy? Is this useful? Let me know if this is useful. Is it helping? Is it making you think? I hope it is. One big question as well to think about over the next 3 days. One question is, what is money? What is money? We'll talk about this in the VIP, but what is money? You'll be amazed at the different answers people have for that question. But what is money? And then the next one is to think is, what is my relationship with money? These reflections are powerful. Great. Happy to hear that. Hope they're helpful. Great. Okay. So yeah, the resistance. Now, like I said at the beginning, one thing I love fixing for entrepreneurs is the knowing doing gap, which involves this behavior change. And normally there's some kind of resistance from going from knowing to doing something fully that has a name. And what's really important to know is resistance is not a sign that you're doing the wrong thing. In fact, it's the opposite. It's a sign that you're actually doing the exact right thing. It's a sign you're doing exactly the right thing. So the idea now is, now you can see your programming, you've begun the process of becoming separate from it, separating from it. And I need to introduce you to the force that we will try every single day to drag you back into that old story. There's a thing that's going to happen. Whenever you try and push out to do something new, that programming is going to try and pull you back. So we need to separate ourselves to prevent that from happening. Whenever we kind of push ourselves out of the comfort zone, something will try and pull us back. And many people refer to this as resistance. And resistance is the most toxic force on the planet. So again, resistance is not a sign that you're doing anything wrong. In fact, it's proof you are doing the exact right thing for you. So stick this on the wall. Resistance is not a sign that I'm doing something wrong. This is proof I'm doing the exact thing that I should be doing. Let me deconstruct what this really means, especially for us as online entrepreneurs, coaches, business owners. So resistance is the invisible force that shows up every single time you are about to do something that would raise your thermostat. It shows up the moment you sit down and write, say, a vulnerable Facebook post, Instagram post, make a video. Shows up the moment you open your laptop to try and do, DM selling or doing DMs to invite people to a call. It just shows up the moment you're on a sales call and it's the time to invite someone into your offer. Shows up the moment you're about to raise your price. As the saying goes, new level, new devil. So true. And the thing that's sneaky is this: resistance doesn't show up as a villain, like an evil person. It will always show up as a helper. And resistance will always whisper, you should probably do more research before you launch that program. Okay? That's not diligence. That is resistance disguised as preparation. Resistance will whisper, you should take another qualification before you can charge that much. This is not trying to be a real expert or a professional. That resistance is disguised as credibility. Resistance whispers, you should build a better funnel before you start doing outreach. That is not a strategy. That is resistance disguised as trying to be productive. Resistance will whisper, your content is not good enough yet to post. That is not about quality control. That is resistance. disguised as trying to be perfect. Do you see the pattern? Resistance will use your own virtues against you. If you value preparation, it will tell you to prepare more. If you value quality, it will tell you your quality is not good enough. If you value integrity, it will tell you that selling is somehow dishonest. One of the biggest lies going, by the way. There's a great book called The War of Art. In The War of Art, it teaches us something very radical. And it says the degree of fear you feel about a particular task is directly proportional to how important that task is for your growth. So the thing you are most afraid to do is the exact thing you must do next. So let me bring this into your daily reality. You are a coach and you feel a knot in your stomach every time you think about sending a direct message to a potential client or send an email or say it on a sale call. That fear is not telling you to stop, okay? That fear is actually a compass. See it as a compass. It is pointing directly at the income-producing activity that will change your life. And in the book, The Art of War, it explains that there's two types of people. There's amateurs and professionals. The amateur waits for inspiration. The amateur waits until they feel confident. The amateur waits until the fear goes away. The amateur waits until they have the perfect site, the perfect headshot, the perfect script. The amateur is always waiting. The amateur is always broke. The amateur is always in a struggle, in a fight that they will never win. However, the professional shows up every single day, regardless of how they feel. They do not wait for confidence. They generate confidence through action. The professional treats their business like a job, not like a hobby. Treat your business like a hobby. It will pay you like a hobby. One of my mentors has told me a number of times on calls with some amazing coaches. It's one of his big lessons. It's a job. You do the work. You have to. In the book, I believe it's You're a Badass at Making Money. It says, do you want to be broke and cool or rich and cheesy? Do you want to be broke and cool or rich and cheesy? Most entrepreneurs would rather look cool, in other words, making Instagram look beautiful, tweaking their brand colors for the 9 millionth time, perfecting a lead magnet that no one's ever going to download, than do the uncomfortable, unsexy, cheesy work where you could make a fool of yourself. And the cheesy work of actually offering the product to people who really need it, your service, your gift. So just know resistance is strongest at the finish line, not at the starting line. So important to know that resistance is strongest at the finish line, not at the start line. And so many people write about this. Napoleon Hill wrote so much about this. You know, I hope everyone who's watching this has read Think and Grow Rich, his other books, Positive Mental Attitudes, Success Principles, all amazing books, Napoleon Hill. But for example, Napoleon Hill in the book Think and Grow Rich says, failure is a trickster with a keen sense of irony and cunning, takes great delight tripping one up when success is almost within reach. And it's so true. Resistance is strongest at the finish line, not at the start line. So that means the moment you are closest to a breakthrough, signing the first client, the first 5-figure client, launching a high-ticket offer, doing a live on camera for the very first time, is the exact moment resistance will hit you the hardest. It will throw everything at you. Doubt, procrastination, sudden emergency, a fight with your partner, you know, all this stuff will just come out of nowhere. The point is, if you understand this, you can become unstoppable. Now, why? Because now, when the fear of doubt hits you the hardest, when it shows up, throws everything at you, instead of retreating, you will know I'm about to break through. This is a sign. I need to use this as a compass. I need to keep going. I know this is where success lies. So turn to the page in your worksheet and it's labeled My Resistance. It's like we're going to do an inventory now. And I would love for you to, I want you to kind of write down the top 3 activities in your business that you constantly avoid, the ones that produce the most anxiety. And then next to each one, write down what the resistance tells you to do instead. So, for example, the activity I avoid is sending outreach DMs. What resistance tells me to do? It tells me to redesign my logo, website, rewrite my offer, clean the house, whatever it may be. Take 3 minutes. Actually, take 5 minutes, guys. Let's take a 5-minute break while you're doing that, and then we will carry on. I hope that's okay, guys. What I'll do, I'll pause the video for a moment and the sound. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Appreciate you all. You've all been amazing. Have a think of those things, write them down. When we see them, we expose them. Okay, guys, I appreciate you. I'll see you all in 5 minutes. Hear me? Can you hear me now? There we go. I am back. Sorry about that. I hope you can hear me now. Let me know. Yeah, beautiful. Sorry, let me start again. I was just saying, everyone who's watching on Matt Jope live events, apologies. I've just seen all your questions. I will get to those after the event. I really appreciate you guys being there. I was asking for a favor as well. I wanted to go live on Instagram, and I'm very new to Instagram. I've always concentrated on Facebook and YouTube, but Instagram is something I want to grow. You could do me a huge favor. I'm going to leave my Instagram details under the videos, wherever you're watching this live. It's a few places. Be amazing if you could do me a huge favor and follow me on Instagram so I can go live on that. They don't want you to go live until you have 1,000 people. It's so mean. So that would be a bit of homework. I would really appreciate it. So welcome back, guys. Apologies for the sound. I muted my microphone. Silly move. But yes. Okay, how are we doing, guys? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being helpful, 0 being not helpful. Let me know where you are. Hopefully this information is being useful. Thank you, my friend. 10. I really appreciate you. 10, 10. Thank you so much. Voice is echoing. Okay, hopefully it's a bit better. Appreciate the feedback, guys. So useful for me. So useful. Okay. So hope the break was good for you. So now hopefully you have a list, and I would love for you to look at that list. Okay, so that left hand side column is the activities you avoid, is your revenue column. Those are the activities that directly produce money. The right hand one you do instead, which is the resistance column, the things you resist. Those are the activities that feel productive but actually produce zero income. They produce zero revenue, income into your business. So from this day forward, okay, you will do the revenue column activities before you even think of doing the resistance activities. That's the idea. Okay, so now you have it laid out in front of you. You really can see what is tricking you into avoiding doing the stuff that's actually going to get your business working. It's really going to move the dial. Keep revisiting that constantly, those things, because the brain is clever. We'll keep trying to trick you in unfamiliar ways, but often it will just keep showing up, trying to fool you in the ways it's done for years. If you really want to move your business forwards, which I know all of you do, always do the revenue column activities. And when the resistance activity comes up, recognize it. Know it's your brain, your subconscious mind trying to keep you safe. It's the good old air conditioning kicked in. Now you know it, you're aware of it. Okay, brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, so the next section we are on to now, believe it or not, is all about you are allowed to be rich. You are allowed to be rich, which can be a strange thing to verbalize. Some people will resist that, not be comfortable with it. That's because it's a very important thing to talk about. There's a great book called You Were Born Rich. Not sure if you've read it. And another great book called The Science of Getting Rich, The Science of Getting Rich. Very short book. I don't know if you've all read it. Put a yes if you've read that one. But it's so important because it has some very important philosophy in there, principles and beliefs and values that we need to have. And it's basically this: you are allowed to be rich. Getting rich is not just a goal, it's actually your right. You're actually born with the right to be rich. And in fact, it's your duty. And we're going to talk about this in the moment. So far, we've done some cool work. I just read You Were Born Rich, so good. Yeah, so it's one of the best books. I love it. So good. So if you've just read it, this is going to be really relevant. So that excites me. You've read that book recently. Be fresh there for you. So far, we've identified the programming, we've named the barriers, we've exposed the resistance. So now we need to address something that sits beneath it all, something so simple, it's almost embarrassing, but I promise you, it makes everything else possible and it works, okay? And the problem is this: you have not given yourself permission to be rich. So you have not given yourself permission to be rich. That is it. That is the block underneath all other blocks. So people often get trapped into identifying every limiting belief in the world. People can really get stuck there. You can trace them all back to your childhood. You can do therapy. You can do journaling. You can meditate until the end of time. But if you still have not given yourself full, unconditional permission to be wealthy, to be rich, nothing will change. So the author in The Science of Getting Rich, written, over 100 years ago, said that something that is so important in that book about poverty consciousness. And he said that it is not possible to live a truly complete or successful life unless one is rich. And he did not mean rich in spirit. He did not mean rich in relationships. He meant rich as in money. Now, why is this? Why did he say that this was so important? Because the full development of a human being, so the full development of a human being in mind, soul, and body requires the use of things. And those use of things, you need the money to buy them. You need books, courses, mentors, whatever it may be, to expand your mind. You need healthy food to nourish your body. Travel to expand your perspective. Like, travel really does broaden your mind. Believe me, I travel a lot. Every time I do, my life changes. You need coaches, mentors to accelerate your growth. And the ability to give generously to the causes you really care about. So the biggest message in this book is poverty does not make you noble. Poverty makes you stressed, tired, small. And when you're stressed, tired, and small, you cannot show up as the powerful transformational coach, consultant, course creator, entrepreneur that your clients really need you to be. You can hear me twice. Is everyone else having the same problem? Can everyone hear me okay? Someone said they can hear me twice. Can people hear me twice? Let me know. I can hear you okay. I can hear you okay. Sorry, my friend, I think it's just you hearing two me's. Maybe you got your headset on and your laptop on as well. Maybe they're both, I don't know. Apologies. Everyone else seems okay. So when you're stressed, worried, frustrated, it really means you can't show up as your customers, your clients really need you to be. So write this down, put like a box around it, because this is so important. Your desire for wealth is not greed. So write down, my desire for wealth is not greed. It is the desire for fuller expression of life. And that desire is sacred. So just note, wanting to be wealthy is not greedy. It's not greedy. It's a desire for a fuller expression of life. That desire is so important, sacred. And I'm going to jump into another book. So that's from The Science of Getting Rich. So true. And it unlocks everything, giving yourself permission to be wealthy. It takes a lot of subconscious reprogramming often to get there. We'll talk about that. There are a number of ways that we do that in the programs I have. Again, below the videos, I'll email everyone. There is an offer, of course, on every event I do, there's an offer. But there's a program where we go through and we reprogram the subconscious mind with some trainings, some deep hypnosis sessions. You sleep through the night, through the day, and then some other sneaky beaky stuff to release, heal, fix all this stuff. But in the book, You Are a Badass at Making Money, amazing book. The author says we all have to make a no nonsense decision about money. So a real decision, meaning not hope, not a wish, not a preference, a decision. I'm sure because we're all coaches here, mentors, we've heard Tony Robbins say this a million times. So a decision, the word decide comes from Latin, which means to cut off. And you'll hear Tony Robbins talking about this a lot. So when you truly decide in this context to be wealthy, you cut off every other possibility. So there is no plan B. There is no I will try. There is no I'm doing this and nothing on earth will stop me from doing this. The problem is most entrepreneurs have never made this decision. They stay where they want to make. They never made this decision. They say they want to make 6 figures a year, 7 figures a year, but secretly they have a backup plan. So, for example, they keep their CV updated just in case, or they set a realistic number in their head that is lower than the dream number. So, in other words, they're edging their bets. And they qualify what they say. So, for example, I would love to make $10,000 a month, but I'll be happy with 5. So that type of decision is not actually a decision. It's not even a decision. It is actually a negotiation with your comfort zone. And your comfort zone always wins negotiations because it knows exactly which emotional buttons to press. So in the book, The Money or Your Life, the author, Barbara, of that book, it's a great book, has spent decades studying why talented people under-earn. What am I going on about? Barbara did not write that. She wrote Overcoming Under-Earning. In my head, it didn't seem right. Apologies. Your Money or Your Life is a great book, but Barbara did not write it. I was thinking, where would that come from? Anyway, so Barbara spent decades studying why talented people were under-earning, and she found that one of the most common traits of under-earners is the inability to imagine a bigger life. And if you've been in Bob Proctor's world as well, he talks about this a lot. Now, we don't dream anymore. We don't fantasize anymore because as children we were told, stop fantasizing. So we assume it's a bad thing to do. But in this context, it means that everyone, the people who were talented but not making the income that they should, okay, it was because they literally couldn't picture themselves wealthy. They couldn't literally picture themselves wealthy. And it's because their subconscious mind will not allow them to. So every time they try to visualize a bigger life, the thermostat kicks in, the image fizzles out, and it's replaced with fear, anxiety, frustration, and stress. So there's a number of methods of breaking through this. Hypnosis is very powerful. There's some tracks you can do with some alpha and gamma rays, very powerful. One of the methods that I use in some of the programs. But Napoleon Hill taught this, that all starting point of all achievement is a burning desire, not a nice to have, not someday, a burning desire that consumes your entire being. And that desire must be paired with a definite chief aim, which is a written statement of exactly how much money you intend to accumulate, by when, and more importantly, what will you give in return? What will you give in return? For those that have Think and Grow Rich, I'm sure you know that. But in Desire, in my particular copy, it's on page 22. But Napoleon Hill in the book sets out a method, and it's his 6 steps to wealth. It's like a wealth formula. Go and have a look. What I want to take from that, reading Hill and everything else, is really this. The big lesson is vagueness is the enemy of wealth. So I want to make more money is a meaningless statement to your subconscious mind. It doesn't mean much. More money, okay, here's an extra $1. Here's an extra pound coin. Here's 1 cent. It doesn't mean anything, especially to our subconscious mind. When you understand how the subconscious mind works, we are amazing goal achieving machines. Okay, we're amazing at it. Okay, but I am committed to generating $50,000 a month, $10,000 a month, whatever your number is, by December 31st this year, 2026. Okay, through serving, 15 coaching clients at the highest level of my genius, by doing one-on-one coaching or group coaching. We meet once a week. I'm going to fix this problem for you. You get it so clear. Write down the exact value you're going to give. Because why? This statement, your subconscious mind can work with. It's dated, includes what you're going to give in return, and that activates the principle of something called the principle of exchange. So in the workbook, you'll see there's a worksheet labeled the wealth declaration. And here's what I would love you to write in that. I want you to write in it in your own handwriting, not typed, handwriting, so important. Why is it important? The physical act of writing engages your brain in a way that typing does not. That's why it's so important, I believe, to just write everything in life. It's a way to remember stuff, to make it real, to bring it to life. I think we lose a lot typing. The physical act of writing will engage the brain more in the way that the typing cannot. And you'll see in the workbook this declaration area. And there's a few things you can do. If you have Think and Grow Rich, go to Napoleon Hill, go through his 6 steps, okay? You'll see it in there. Go through it, okay? Yeah, it's in Think and Grow Rich. You can find this anywhere on the internet, PDF, Amazon, get the physical copy, do it. But essentially, in our copy here, I want you to write, I, Matthew Jope, obviously put your name, not mine. I, Matthew Jope, give myself full and unconditional permission to be wealthy and committed to generating, put your number in, 200,000 a month, whatever it may be. Be very precise about the exact dollar amount you want. Could be 10,000, 5,000. Most folks online want $10,000 a month. It's generally what people tell me. Some people want way more. Depends where you are on the level of your journey. By month, so put the exact date in. And I will do this by, now you want to put in the exact thing you're going to provide. The exact thing you're going to provide, because we want to activate the principle of exchange. Napoleon Hill quite rightly says in Think and Grow Rich multiple times, there's nothing in this world which you get for nothing. So despite the title, you thinking you get rich, it's not how it works. Napoleon Hill said so many times you have to take action. Of course you do. Otherwise, we'll all be gazillionaires. Okay, so write down the exact service you're going to provide. And I release every story that says I'm not worthy of this, I am worthy, I am ready, and I'm done playing small. So really take some time to write this declaration. You can definitely do it after our call today. Take some time. You'll see that this is very, very important. You don't want to rush this. You want to think about it. You can definitely start filling it out now if you want. But it's very, 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 very important. What I'd love for you guys to do, if you want to pop in the chat quickly, remember the question I asked you, what is money? What is money? Just pop in what you think money is at the moment. What is money? I'd love to hear what you have to say. I think it will change as we progress through the days. But yeah, give me what your definition of money is at the moment. Money is energy. Beautiful. What's energy? Where does the word energy come from? What do you mean by energy? Anyone else going to share? Thank you for being brave. It's a transfer of energy from one to another. Beautiful. What does energy mean? VIPs, you'll discover today why I'm asking. How it makes you feel about it. Energy. Interesting. Interesting. Do you know what the word energy means? I see as energy brings everything. It's energy, including money. Beautiful. Okay. So we're definitely talking about what energy is. Kath says force. Oh, I feel like I've been attacked. Yeah. So energy means flow. I'll give you a hint. Comes from a Latin word. The Latin word literally means flow. I won't share any more than that, but we will talk about that a bit later on. But you're all very, very, very close. Very close. But yeah, we will talk about that in VIP quite a lot. One thing that people struggle with money is they don't really understand what money is, like what money really is. You know, what's the reason for money? Most people will say, well, money is a tool, which is true, but it's not a very good answer. It is true, but it's not like the deepest level we could come from. You know, but we will talk about that in VIP. I'm interested. So we've got force, energy. Yeah. Okay, great. Cool. Okay. So yeah, take some time. An exchange. Lovely. Yeah. Good. This is good. This is good. Cool. So take some time, write that down. Thank you for sharing. Really appreciate. And what I would love for you to do is just know that when you do this, even if it scares you when you write down your statement, don't worry. It's outside the scope of this event, but just know when you Bob Proctor always used to teach there's A class, B class, C type goals, and a goal really isn't a goal unless it helps you to grow. So the purpose of a goal is to literally make you be something that you aren't already. And the problem with a goal, if you already know how to do it, that it's not going to like pull you forwards. So he always said you had to have something that excites you and scares you. And it's finding the balance between that. It's called a C-type goal. We may talk about it later. But as you write down these statements, don't worry if you feel a bit like that, nothing wrong with that at all. In fact, it's a good thing. Okay, it's a good thing. Okay. So we're gonna come to the closeness of the end of day one. VIPs, we have loads more cool stuff to do. Don't worry. There's no way I would leave and abandon you after such a short period of time. But I want to leave you with something that you can use immediately, not tonight, not tomorrow, not in a million years. I mean, I do mean tonight, but I mean right now, tonight. So we've completed 3 of the 4 steps of changing your financial blueprint. Awareness, so you saw your programming. Understanding, you traced its origin. Disassociation, you're separating your identity from your programming. The 4th step is reconditioning. And reconditioning is not something that happens in a single event. It's a daily practice. Your old money story or stories had years, decades to root itself in your subconscious mind. And you will not uproot it in a single afternoon. But you will weaken it today. And every day you practice what I'm about to teach you, it gets weaker and weaker and weaker, and the new story will get stronger, stronger, and stronger, until one day the old story has no power over you at all. So here is your daily wealth reconditioning practice. So turn to the page in your worksheet labeled My Daily Practice, and you'll see in there, there's a plan for you, okay? You'll see the first step, step 1, is a morning declaration. So every single morning, before you check emails, social media, your phone, before you do anything, you can clean your teeth first. You can do that, definitely. But I would love for you, and please do this, read your wealth declaration out loud. The one you just wrote, or you're going to finish writing off later, out loud. Not in your head. Your subconscious mind responds to your own voice. And when you speak a belief out loud, it will have a different effect than merely just thinking it. And in the book, The Big Leap, the author teaches a mantra that I want you to add into this practice. So it's like something to add in. And that is, I expand in abundance, success, and love every day as I inspire those around me to do the same. Okay? So I expand in abundance, success, and love every day as I inspire those around me to do the same. Okay, so you're just going to write this down. It's a mantra. Say out loud every single day. You can even say it out loud now. Don't unmute, don't worry. But I expand in abundance, success, and love every day as I inspire those around me to do the same. Now, here's what will happen when you say this mantra and you read your declaration out. The old programming is going to argue with you. It's going to fight. Your mind is going to fire back with what it calls, in the book, The Big Leap, back talk. And it might say, this is ridiculous. You are not abundant. You have $10 in your bank account, $100, $1,000. Expect it to happen. Welcome this voice, because that back talk, the resistance, the fight, is your old thermostat trying to maintain its setting. The fact that it's arguing means the new code is being installed. Keep saying the mantra every single morning, regardless of the back talk, regardless of your subconscious programming trying to make the old thermostat maintain that setting, whatever that setting is. So we say it's every single morning. Okay, it's going to say, this is ridiculous, it's stupid. I expand in abundance, success, and love every day as I inspire those around me to do the same. Add that in. Okay, second thing to do. Step 2 is the resistance check. What do we do? Beginning of every day where you sit down and do work, ask yourself one question, just one question. What is the single most important revenue producing activity I can do today? And then do that activity first. Before emails, before reading if you're in a Slack group or a Discord group, or whatever it may be, before you try to do a Canva graphic, whatever it may be, do the revenue producing activity first every single day. Every single day. You with me so far? Cool. If the thought of that activity fills you with dread, congratulations. You just found where resistance lives. Walk straight into it. It's the compass showing up. Step 3, this is so important, so important. It's doing a gratitude exercise in the evening. What you do before bed, every single night before bed, I have my gratitude journal down here. Before you go to bed, write down 3 things that you are grateful for that involve money or abundance. So not generic gratitude for this scenario. It must be exact, and it must be linked to money or abundance. And it must be really exact. I'm grateful that a stranger commented on my post today and said my content helped them. I'm grateful that I paid my electricity bill on time. I'm grateful I paid my rent on time. I'm grateful that I said my price aloud on a sales call without getting scared or nervous, even though they did not buy. So in the book, The Science of Getting Rich, the author teaches that gratitude is the direct link between you and the source of all wealth. Why is this? When you're in a state of gratitude, you are in a state of receiving. Okay? So when you're in a state of gratitude, you're in a state of receiving. So when there's many books that study this, the psychology of money and human financial behavior. And these books found that the single greatest predictor of long-term wealth is not income, it's not investment returns, it's not a strategy, it's behavior. It's the daily, unexciting, invisible habits that compound over time. This daily practice is your compound interest for the mind. Okay, it's your compound interest for the mind. Doesn't look exciting or crazy, but it's the reps you need to do all the time. So day 1, nothing will happen. Day 30, you will start to feel different. By day 90, you'll really be becoming very, very different. day 100, generally 100 days, these things take to really have an effect. You'll really see it start showing up internally and externally. And by the end of a whole year, you will not recognize the person you used to be. Okay. Why is this so important? Please write this down. It's so important. Wealth is not an event. It's not like this single big event. It doesn't happen and you just get rich like that. It's daily practice of reconditioning your mind to receive basically what's always been available to you. The bizarre thing is the thing you want is available for you right now. Always has been, always will be. Always has been, always will be. It's just there. So wealth is not like I do one thing and boom, overnight. Okay. What we've gone through today, hopefully you don't feel like you just went to a training. Okay. What you've done is, if you've actually done the work, which I'm sure you have found and looked at the deepest, most hidden programming in your subconscious mind. The beliefs about money that were like literally installed into you when you were too young to choose. And what you did, what's really powerful, is you've written it down. You said, I see you, okay, and you're no longer in charge. I see you. So I want you to walk away with complete clarity. VIPs, stay where you are. We have the first part of your VIP experience. But the first thing I hope is you learn that your income is regulated by an internal thermostat. This financial blueprint that was set in childhood through verbal programming, modeling, and these events. Normally this big single event which you connect money and pain together. And this thermostat dictates how much money you allow yourself to make, keep, and enjoy. And no strategy can override a thermostat that is set too low, because you'll just keep going back. You make a load of money, go back to pain and suffering. Second thing is you identified the exact programming that set this thermostat. You wrote down the phrases you heard, the behaviors you witnessed, and this incident, the emotional thing, too hard to write down often, that forged the link between money and pain. The third thing is you've hopefully understand now that there's 4 hidden barriers that hold your thermostat in place. Feeling fundamentally flawed, disloyalty and abandonment, believing you are a burden, and the crime of outshining. And you identify which barriers are operating in your life. The fourth is you met resistance. Okay, the force that will try to drag you back into the story, the old stories, the old programming every single day. And you learn to recognize it in all its disguises: preparation, trying to be perfect, research, procrastination in the form of being productive. Fifth thing, you gave yourself 4 unconditional permission to be wealthy. You've written down your statement with an amount, a date of wealth declaration. Okay, so important. You've written all this down. You learn that this permission is not selfish at all. It's sacred. The sixth thing, you received a daily wealth reconditioning practice that you will begin tonight: a morning declaration, a resistance check, and an evening gratitude. This is the enormous amount of inner work we've done in one single session. So just be gentle with yourself. You may feel a bit emotionally drained, or you may be the opposite. You may feel like, wow, this is feeling great. Okay, don't worry. Whatever you're feeling, it's normal. It all means that this is working for you. There is an assignment I would love for you to do before we meet tomorrow on day 2. Day 2 will be the same time, 5 o'clock UK time. So we will go live again on whatever platform you are watching me on, whatever platform that may be. There are different YouTube channels. You know the ones you are on. Just checking the chat. Hey guys, good to see you there. Look at that. So you know where you are, but we'll be there again tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Links will go below there, but there's a few things I would love for you to do before we meet tomorrow again. Number 1 is read your wealth declaration out loud 3 times before you go to sleep tonight. Before you go to bed tonight, the first thing is read your wealth declaration out loud 3 times. And when you hear that resistance, just thank it and recognize it's there, but just know it's not you. Assignment number 2, in the reflection section of your workbook, write a letter to your younger self. So what do I mean by this? Write a letter to the child who first received the money programming. Tell that child what you now know. Tell them it was not their fault, not their error. Tell them what is about to change. So we're going to write a letter to your younger self. May sound crazy, but please trust me with this process. Do it. Number 3, do your evening gratitude check-in before you sleep. So 3 very clear things of financial gratitude. Write them down. Doesn't matter how big or small it may be. Maybe, thank God I had money with me so I could pay the car parking today. Makes no difference. Write them down. Tomorrow on day 2, we're gonna take everything you've uncovered today, and we're gonna on day 2 install a completely new operating system. We're going to learn how wealth is actually created, not competed for, but created from the inside out. We're going to learn how to turn you into a professional in your business. And we're going to learn the most powerful force in all of wealth creation, which is compounding, but not in a way you may be thinking. So day 1 was us digging. Day 2 is the reconstruction project. Okay, I really appreciate you guys. That is day 1. Please put some comments in the comments under this video. If you have any questions, drop them there as well. I promise I will get to them. I cannot wait. Check out the links. Again, if you need the workbook, you will find the workbook there. Just opt in, grab it. You can, whenever you're watching this, it doesn't matter. You can grab it at any time. And I'll see you tomorrow, Saturday, the 21st of March for day 2. I appreciate you all. VIPs, stay where you are. We have more to go.